Beer back in the Fantasy Bar, week 5, ready to go. 6 guys fresh off the tap for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including my favorite value play under 4K on DK. Every single play for you under 7,000 to make lineup building easy. We've got correlation. We've got some more controversial plays. And of course, my favorite play of the week, along with potentially the biggest prize we've ever given away in our Beast of the Week contest. Who and what are we talking about? Only one way to find out. Time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Week 5 edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here once again in the Fantasy Bar. 6 plays ready for you to go here for week 5 in the NFL on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. Before we get into the plays, let's talk some housekeeping first thing, and most importantly, that thumbs up button. Why is that important? Because we are upping the ante here. Normally, in our Beast of the Week contest, we're giving away a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. But we're going to challenge you guys. If we can top the 1,200 thumbs up we got back in week 3, which was a season high, we will up that ante on 1 week of free RotoGrinders NFL Premium. Not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. We're going to give you an entire month absolutely free of RotoGrinders Premium NFL. So again, let's hit that thumbs up button. Let's break that 1,200 number and get somebody a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check us out over at scoresandodds.com/beer for everything sports betting you need under one umbrella. All right, looks like a fun slate of games, 10 games on the main slate. We've narrowed it down to my 6 favorite plays. Let's start at the running back position with Devin ACHANE of Miami. That's right, ACHANE. Don't call him ACHANE. Changed the name, made it official, and this guy can go by whatever he wants with the way he has been playing lately. Some massive games here in this explosive Miami offense. And I expect similar here once again this week against the Giants. Now, you could go Raheem Mostert here as well. Like both of these guys, both going to be a big part of my builds this weekend. But ACHANE gives us that explosive, big playability. The Giants give us a favorable matchup against running backs. Every single starter has gone for at least 75 on the ground against them this year. They've given up at least 121 to every single team they have played this season as far as rushing yards go. You guys know I love me some big home favorite running backs. Miami checks that box, obviously. Giants, with the struggles on the ground, giving up a ton of fantasy points, bottom 10 in the NFL. I think Miami bounces back in a big way. Devin ACHANE, one of my favorite running backs here for week 5. All right, let's go to the other side of that one. A little controversy here. We're going to roll with Darren Waller of the Giants. Now look, I know it's been ugly. I know it's been a disaster. Darren Waller barely seeing the ball, seeing targets. Something has to change here for this Giants offense. And I think a big part of it is going to be getting Darren Waller involved. Now, I know a lot of you are going to write this off. No way, you're crazy. Hey, we heard the same comments last week. Worked out for us. This is not a clickbait play. I really believe Darren Waller is going to get it going this week against Miami. Now, we talked about the Dolphins script, likely playing from ahead. Giants most likely playing from behind here. Double-digit underdogs in this one. Gonna have to throw the ball a lot in this game. Now, that hasn't always worked out for the Giants. We've seen them just get blown out and do nothing. I think they get it going here. Miami, bottom 10 in targets, receptions, and fantasy points allowed to the tight end position here. So not a play for everybody. Certainly not a safe cash game play, but tournaments, correlation, love this spot here. If you want to get real crazy, go with Daniel Jones as well. I think Darren Waller bounces back at very minimal ownership this week against the Miami Dolphins. All right, value time at wide receiver. We're rolling with RASHEE Rice of Kansas City. So now going with Chiefs receivers can definitely be a little bit of roulette, kind of guessing each and every week, but I really like what I'm seeing out of RASHEE Rice. This total in this game, 52.5. A lot of people are going to be looking at that one, but maybe they don't go down all the way to RASHEE Rice. Now, routes, the share of routes really on the rise for him. It's really what's been impressive and what I'm focused on the most here. 49% last week. Also, nice red zone roll here for this Chiefs offense. Leads this team over Travis Kelce with 6 red zone targets so far this season. And the matchup just doesn't get any better than the Minnesota Vikings. No team has given up more fantasy points, more receiving yards to the wide receiver position. I think Rice in for a big day at low ownership and a cheap $3,600 price point. All right, quarterback up next. We are rolling Matthew Stafford of the Rams. So we have some solid options this week under 6K on DraftKings. I mentioned Daniel Jones, a lot of upside there, as ugly as it's been. You got a guy like Zach Wilson coming off a big game that gets Denver, but Matthew Stafford feels like the guy that's too cheap and potentially the best matchup here with Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia, we know, very good against the run, have been awful against the pass. This is another very high total game we want to target at almost 50 here. We mentioned Philly struggles in the air, bottom 6 in passing yards allowed, passing touchdowns allowed, along with fantasy points here. And Stafford been very productive in this Rams offense. That's without Cooper Kupp. They will get him back in the lineup here, it sounds like, this week. And Stafford's gone over 300 yards in 3 of the 4 games. I think this one has shootout potential written all over it. A lot of ways you can stack him up. Kupp, Puka, Atwell, hell, even Tyler Higbee, and plenty of running back options on the Philly side. Circle this game. I think Matthew Stafford, a candidate, not only go over 300 yards, I think he could push for 400 yards here, and we have not even seen the touchdown upside yet. Kupp really going to make life a lot easier here. Great matchup here this week with the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, back to the wide receiver position in the mid-range with DeAndre Hopkins of the Titans. So like we talked about with Matthew Stafford, really haven't seen the ceiling yet for DeAndre Hopkins. We know it's coming. We know this guy has big playability. We know Ryan Tannehill been bad, but I really like this spot for him to get it going against the Colts. First, let's look at the price. Lowest price this season and maybe ever on DraftKings. Didn't get a chance to dig in to the salaries, but this is the lowest price I can remember on DeAndre Hopkins here. Treylon Burks still not practicing, so very limited target tree for this Titans offense. And we think about Indy, 2 things come to mind. First of all, they love to play fast. We know they're going to put some points on the board. It's going to up the pace in this game. Secondly, wide receivers been dominating this Indianapolis team week in, week out. Bottom 8 in fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. So Hopkins not dead yet. He's not cooked. He's not toast. I think a big week in store here against the Colts for DeAndre Hopkins. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for week 5. Before we do that, let's once again talk Beast of the Week contest. Easy to play. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button, and the more thumbs up we get, the chance at a bigger prize for you guys. If we eclipse 1,200, we are giving away a free month of RotoGrinders Premium to whoever has the closest guess in fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Week. So get that guess in. Make sure you've clicked that thumbs up button. Share the video with others. We got plenty of room here in the fantasy bar for some new bar patrons, but get that guess in. And I want to know while you're down there, who's your favorite play? Who's your Beast of the Week? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's wrap this baby up with my favorite play, you know him as Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back. My absolute favorite spot on this slate is the Detroit Lions at home against Carolina. We are rolling with David Montgomery, this week's Beast of the Week. Now, rarely do I like to give you the guy coming off of 3 touchdowns. Feels like a buy high here, but it feels like also another smash spot here for David Montgomery. Big home favorite against a team that has really struggled against the run, and he's clearly been the lead back in this backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs working in a little bit. Montgomery getting all the work he can handle, and he's been very productive on those touches. In fact, 5 touchdowns already. Every single game that he has played, he's found the end zone. Carolina, on the other hand, 6 rushing touchdowns already allowed to the running back position here. And it's not only the touchdowns, it's rushing yards near the bottom, fantasy points near the bottom. I think Detroit smashes this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown still not practicing, so maybe even more run heavy here for the Lions. Any way you want to slice it, David Montgomery in another great spot. Price still under 7K on DraftKings. I'm buying all day here. David Montgomery of the Lions, my favorite play of the board, and this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it here for week 5 in the fantasy bar. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. You can also follow me over on Twitter at Beermakersfan, and don't forget your guess for fantasy points on DraftKings for David Montgomery for a potential shot at a free month of premium RotoGrinders NFL. That's right, a month absolutely free if you guys can get up to that 1,200 thumbs up button. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you have not already. Again, scoresandodds.com/beer for everything sports betting. Don't forget my pints and picks video with 2 of my favorite NFL bets each and every week. 2-0 on that video last week. Lastly, check us out over on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio every Sunday night, 6 to 9 Eastern, breaking down all the live action, all the day's action, giving you all the fantasy implications. Great fun on that show, 6 to 9 Eastern, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist